The final mission to save mankind has failed.
The 70-mile-wide asteroid known as Matilda
Is set to collide with Earth in exactly 3 weeks' time, and we'll be bringing you our countdown to the end of days, along with all your classic rock favorites.
So feel free to wear your casual Friday clothing pretty much any day of the week. And if anyone wants to be CFO. Anyone?
So this movie makes me start thinking about obviously what other people will be doing at the end of the world, and then I started thinking about how you would spend your days at the end of the world, but then I really started thinking about how some of your past characters would spend their final day. So I have a few of the favorite characters that you've done, and I would like you to tell me how they think they would spend their final days.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Elizabeth Swann from The Pirates.
Yeah, she might hook up with Jack. Wow, Will was quite boring, you know.
Well,
so
you're not going to see him every 10 years
we've
now.
Done that. It's only every 10 years, so what are you going to do in the meantime?
Exactly.
You might as well go off with Jack Sparrow.
Well, of course, my favorite, Mr. Michael Gary Scott.
Michael Scott would be making sweet love to Holly Flax.
Juliet from one of my favorite movies, which is Love Actually.
I didn't even know what you were talking about.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Right, yeah. What would she do? She'd be with her husband. She'd be having a very nice time, probably having picnics and cuddling a lot.
Well, really? Because...
Why? What do you want her to do? She can do anything you want.
Go. Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever you like. What would you like to have her do?
Go hook up with Andrew Lincoln,
who's
who's now killing zombies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but what about her husband? He'll be fine. Oh dear, you just put her with. It's terrible. You split up a marriage at the end of the world.
I know. We're 30 seconds into the interview. I've already split up marriages and 2 marriages.
Yeah, wow.
Mr. Brick Tamland, of course, from Anchorman.
Probably be eating a candle.
Elizabeth Bennet, obviously from Pride and Prejudice.
Elizabeth Bennet would be having a very nice time in a very large house somewhere with Mr. Darcy.
And Andy from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Andy from 40-Year-Old Virgin would be making sweet love to Holly Flax.
So, what are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God, maybe move around some chairs.
Maybe I'll run into you on orgy or something.
Well, that sounds nice. Listen, Elsa, you don't have to come next week or ever if you don't want to. It's okay.
You fighting me?
There's just no need. Forget it.
See you next week, Mr. Dutch.
I regret my entire life.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now.
We had a big conversation at dinner last night about like who you would want to spend your finals days with. And you have had so many great co-stars in the past. Which co-star would you most like to spend your final days with, and which one would you least like to spend it with?
Wow, that's a really interesting question. I've had, Keira Knightley, fantastic. I would love to spend, you know what? I'd have to load it up. I'd have to visit with people every day for the couple of weeks that I had left. Keira Knightley, Steve Buscemi, Julianne Moore, fantastic. Ryan Gosling, I would love to have a beer with him. Jim Carrey, lovely man, funny, charming. Kind of Catherine Keener, Annie Hathaway, it's kind of a crazy list. Here's the thing. I would have an enormous party and invite all of those people over, plus many, many others, and we would just get snockered.
Bye now.
We should set up Dodge with Karen, don't you think?
It's everything I never wore.
The sky is falling. I've been with a different girl every day. They don't care about diseases. Are you gonna call them back, or are you related, you know?
No, I don't.
You don't?
You have so many great films where you capture relationships so perfectly, which I think is a really fantastic thing.
Thanks.
Thinking about your real life experience with love, what is the hardest thing to capture on film to express in a relationship?
I think this is going to sound really weird, actual physical intimacy in a way that people who are in couples really do. I don't mean kind of sex scenes or anything like that. I just mean the way that two people are when they touch each other when they're together is almost impossible to replicate.
Right.
And it's something that's really interesting to try and replicate, how you just don't even think about the fact that normally people are touching their partners all the time and they don't even think about it. That's incredibly difficult to do with an actor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you get better at it as an actress as you start going
I've only
along?
just figured out that that's what's really difficult to do, so I'm going to work on that.
Okay, next time we'll talk. We'll talk about
exactly.
it. We'll figure it
I'll
out. We'll figure it out.
Hello? You okay?
No! I'm never going to see my family again.
Would you like to come in?
I won't steal anything if you don't kill me.
Agreed.
You know, obviously, one of the brilliant things about this movie is that it finds humor in a very dark situation, which I thought was brilliant. It's a very difficult thing to do. What are some other dark situations you would like to challenge yourself as a comedian to see if you could find humor in them?
Boy, the wacky death row inmate scenario is, I think, ripe. You know, there's so many. You know, it's hard. You know, what intrigued me about this movie, frankly, was the fact that it was dark, but it was absurd, and it really was a metaphor for life. You know, everyone is facing that inevitability in their life at some point, and it's how you approach your life, it's how you live your life, and the joy you find, and the choices that you make. And here's a guy who's just sort of going through it, and not really taking time to enjoy it or connect with himself or other people. And then he finally does. And I think that's a pretty joyous thing.
Agreed.
Who's the girl? She the one that got away?
Well, they all got away, but she was the first, yeah.
Let's go find her.
We need to go, right now. If you drive me to where I need to go, I can get you to your family.
You know, obviously this is one of those things that we were having great discussions at dinner last night about, like, okay, if the world was ending, what would you regret not having done? So
Yeah.
I was kind of curious, if we were going to find out 30 seconds from now, asteroids coming, we're all going to die, what will you say, man, I wish I had done that?
I think it's always spending more time with people that you love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's not a very funny one,
No,
or like I
that's
should
legit.
be saying jumping off buildings or kind of doing like really fun stuff, but I think it would always be spending time with people you love.
Right. Am I part of that?
Definitely, always. You can be at my end of the world party.
Steve invited me to his, but I would totally take
really?
yours.
Okay, fine,
I
good.
would totally take
I'm
yours.
really glad to hear it.
Oh, good. I was, I'm now afraid that this may be the last time we talk if something happened in the world's end. I always love talking to you. You always give me such nice, great stuff about myself. If this is the last time we talk, what is the last thing you would like to say to me?
I want to say I like the way you're dressed today. I like the tie and the vest, and it's something that I admire. I think it's a good look. I think it's dressy and yet casual, and that's what I want to leave you with. And I like the plaid tie because it's informal, and yet it says I care.
I love you, Steve.
I know you do.
Luckily, I'm getting my midlife crisis in just under the wire.
Hi, welcome to Frenzies, where everyone's your friend.
I can't believe you guys are still open. And do you know what? It's his birthday today. Why didn't you tell me that? Happy birthday!
Oh, God. Yeah, we should go. We should go.
We're on a road to nowhere.
You can't be serious.
How fast are you going?
15 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Given the couldn't you find it in your heart to give my friend here a fighting chance of being with the one he loves before we all reach our untimely conclusion?
No.